From my vantage point as trade minister, there are three big global challenges impacting international trade right now. The first challenge is the lingering impact of the global pandemic. In the first 6 months of the pandemic, between March and August of 2020, some 97 countries implemented more than 200 restrictions on cross-border trade. Some of those restrictions are still in place. Those trade restrictions are really supply chain disruptions. And the trouble with supply chain disruptions is that they spread. A backed-up port in Asia can lead to empty rail cars in Ontario and idle factories in Ohio. And even as the COVID-19 pandemic fades, supply chain disruptions persist. First it was PPE and ventilators, now it's semiconductors to breakfast cereals. Global supply chains must flow smoothly and seamlessly, just as they did before the pandemic. Not just at the Canada-US border, but around the world. We need greater resiliency throughout the trading system, and we need a firm sense of purpose among trading nations in order to counter the pandemic's lingering and persistent impacts. So that's the first challenge. The second challenge is the digital economy. The digital economy is not just a new sector of economic activity. It is now an entire global economy all on its own, running parallel to the traditional economy. And it is not properly supported by existing trade structures. So governments must work together to give structure to the global digital economy. We need common protections for personal data, for intellectual property, for e-commerce. We need common standards for network security and for dealing with online misinformation. Most importantly, we must open cross-border market for entrepreneurs, for startups, for scale-ups, not just for the big technology firms. The benefits of digital trade need to flow to people and to businesses of all sizes. And that's our second challenge. And the third challenge is great power competition. This particular challenge reaches beyond trade, of course, to matters of diplomacy and security, but it can also have tremendous impact on the rules-based trading system. That's a concern for Canada, just as it is for most countries in the global community. The decisions great powers make in relation to each other can have seismic effects on the rest of us. So we all watch it closely. That's the third challenge. So these are the key items on the trade agenda: rebuild and secure global supply chains, give structure to the digital economy on a global scale, all in the midst of shifting great power relations.